And I'm muted. Welcome in, everybody, to the round 2 Showdown show for the Masters. Going to try to do these for both round 3 and round 4 as well. Got a lot to, just going to make them quick, 20 or so minute videos, go through some things that we saw today, go over the field and the weather for tomorrow and each day of the tournament. Fun start for sure. A lot going on that we'll kind of talk through. I'll sort the sheet up by the leaderboard to start with, and we'll kind of talk through some of the things that we saw. So Rose, of course, the super hot round, 7 under. He was 8 at one point. Just super low. We've seen him do that some this year. I think, what tournament was it? Was it trying to remember where it was. I played him. Was it Bay Hill? I think that he played really well as well. He showed up on some of these difficult courses this year, and we've got him gaining strokes pretty much everywhere except off the tee. He was awful. But from there on, he was great, led the field in putting, 5th on approach. So we'll get into more on the players here in a bit. But Rose there, you've got a great leaderboard with Scotty, Bryson, Ludwig, Connors is up there. And then you got some runners. You got Lowry grinded for a strong day. A lot of guys to talk about. Of course, Rory was up there at one point, and then he hit 15 and 2 good shots in there and just started the choke job, I guess, again. I don't know. Really disappointed with, I played him this week. I had one ticket to the 33. Played him. Still obviously not done. He's still in this thing, I think. Depends on how tomorrow goes for him. He's only 4 back of the pack at 4. Just kind of depends on what Rose does. I mean, if Rose just runs away for some reason, then yeah. But truthfully, Rory's probably 4 back of the lead, or 4 back of the pack there. That probably gets him in contention come Sunday with 2 good rounds, I think, still. So we'll talk about that more in a bit. We've got the weather for tomorrow. Going to be a Nick Moore windier for sure. Going to get some rain there overnight. Today we were looking under 10 mile an hour sustained. We got some gusts up to about 15 there from time to time. But tomorrow, definitely seeing an early advantage for me. You've got 2 things working for the early tee times tomorrow for Showdown. And you're going to get some rain through the middle of the night tonight at Augusta. When the first groups tee off, there's not going to be much wind, and it's going to be damp, receptive. No matter how early they get the grounds crew up to work on this place, it's still going to end up being like that, I believe. So early tee times, let me share my screen over to Windfinder. So for Friday morning, looking at 7-8 mile an hour winds to start with when the earliest groups are teeing off. When the main players that we probably have interest in are teeing off, it's right around 10 miles per hour. Gusts all day are going to be a little trickier than they were today. Today they were getting up to 15 by midday. All day tomorrow they look to be in the low to mid 20s. But the sustained winds don't really kick up until, the afternoon tomorrow. So all morning you're looking, depending on how early they tee off or the players tee off that you play, it is going to be a little cooler in the mid 50s. I think that's fine. But you're looking at 8-10 mile an hour wind, maybe bump up to the 12-13 range by the time they finish their round tomorrow. but the groups that tee off in the afternoon, they're going to start with the 12 to 13, and they're going to get bumped up by 4 or 5 o'clock. As of this forecast, looking, sustained winds 16, 17 mile an hour. I think that's definitely, to me, almost a 10 mile per hour difference from very early in the morning to mid to late afternoon tomorrow. Obviously, this can change. I'm going to look at some other wind forecasts as well. I'd seen another one that kind of looked I'd seen another one. I think it was on windy.com, and it looked like kind of the same thing, almost no wind first thing in the morning, 9 or 10 mile an hour there early on, but then it didn't get as high as Windfinder is necessarily saying. This one bumped it up in the afternoon to 11, 12 mile an hour from 8, 9 mile an hour sustain, and gusts with both of these look pretty similar throughout the day, all in the 20s in gusts. So I think it in the afternoon, I think we'll get a little bit dried out. Even with the rain overnight, I think you're going to see the wind's going to help this thing dry out a little bit. So again, I think the advantage for the morning tee times is the dampness from the rain that they're going to get overnight. Receptive, similar to today, I feel. Maybe even a little better conditions very early. And then you've got the wind, if it will sustain and these gusts come about through the day, I think it makes the afternoon a little bit tougher. So I'm going to focus on the early tee times tomorrow. And as we talk through the players on the sheet, we've got the tee times already up for round number 2. And we're going to talk through some stats. So if you haven't checked out our sheet before, we've got this updates every round for Showdown. So on the left side here, you've got the tee time for round number 2. We'll sort by that probably here in a second. We've got the Showdown pricing from each round, so you can see how they go up or down as the tournament goes on. The Showdown ownership, that's just from the big GPP. Then we've got the current stats for the tournament. So their score to par, current place, round score, and then their strokes gained throughout the field. And then if you scroll all the way over to the right, you've got the actual ranks in the field, if you want to see that. That factors into the model a little bit as well. So we'll talk through it. I'm going to go by tee time to start with here. So the first group's off. None of these guys played well, and that was what I kind of meant by the earliest tee times that have the best weather, right around 8 o'clock or even before. Didn't play the greatest today. It's not the strongest part of the field. In this first group of, say, 10 guys off to 8:13 from 7:40, not really anybody stats-wise that pops off the page to me. So I don't know that I'm going to get to any of them. I'm going to go by the rankings. So Campos was 4th off the tee, awful pretty much everywhere else. Shank was good with his irons. Angel Cabrera was good off the tee, but horrible with his irons. So I just don't think there's anybody in here, even though some of them are definitely going to be fighting for the cut. I don't think there's anybody in here that I'm going to get to in that first group. As we get into the 8 o'clock tee times, definitely some players that I want to look at. So ball striking wise, Hoagie was good. Actually was gaining off the tee. Awful around the greens, but putted well today. He was a guy that I was on last week, mainly because of his iron play. These guys scare me to death around Augusta, people like this. And the reason is, and you saw it there today, I mean, he ended up shooting even because he putted well, I think. But losing 4 strokes around the green here is scary. You got to be able to get up and down to just kind of keep your score plugging along. I know for Showdown we want birdies, so he does have upside in that realm, and maybe he only makes a few mistakes, but 4 strokes in one round around the green is a little bit scary. The first guy that I really like the way he's playing is Denny McCarthy. He is 7,100. I think he'll get a little bit of play tomorrow. Shot -1 today, so setting pretty well after round number 1. He didn't gain off the tee. He was pretty much flat, but he gained on approach, gained around the green, gained putting. He's a guy that can get lightning, can catch lightning in the bottle with his putting, and the fact that his ball striking is solid right now is a reason, I think, to get on him, and he gets the early tee time. So I think he's going to be a very good value play tomorrow. So he'll get the first highlight. You've got Rose, who's coming off the low round, teeing off at 852. I don't think I'm going to be taking Rose to back that up. I think he shoots, even, maybe even over par tomorrow. Not good off the tee, was solid everywhere else, and gained 5 strokes putting. Sure, he could do – I don't think he's going to do the putting thing again, but again, I think he kind of – it's hard to back up around like that no matter if he does continue to play well. Schwartzel didn't hit the ball very well. He was a guy that I was a little bit interested in. I think I mixed him in a little bit in the mass entry. I don't think I'll go back. Matt McCarty played really good today, hit his irons really well, shot 1 under, gained 3.6, one of the best in the field. He was the best in the field with his irons. So I guess you could ride that. I don't necessarily I'm sure he's a first timer. I don't necessarily like the scariness of, is he going to make the putts? Does he have the upside to make the birdies for you? Maybe he does again, but not in love with that, even though the stats look pretty good. JJ Spawn, what did he end up shooting today? +2. He's okay. He's 7,300. The betting odds liked him a lot coming into the week. And I think that bumped his ownership a little bit in DFS. He was just kind of average today. So I guess you could definitely take a shot on him. He was 23rd here in 2022. So seems to be solid around this place. Homa, I don't like the way he's playing coming in. He played all right today, 2 over, but not going to jump on that wagon. DJ gets an early tee time. I don't think I'll go there. Sergio is going to be definitely a core play for me. 7,400. I was on him. I'm on him in the 33 entry that I've got. He just could not putt today. I followed every single one of his shots throughout the round. Just throwing darts in a lot of scenarios and just couldn't putt. 90th in the field in putting today. So he lost almost 3 strokes on the greens. I mean, if you look, he could have caught that type of round similar to like Rose did to start. He birdies 1. He misses a 5-footer for birdie on 2. He misses a similar length on 3. So he could have easily been 3 under through 3. Kind of leveled out there for a while, and then he got back to hitting some really good shots there. He birdied 15, and then he threw one in there really close, 5 feet again on 17, and missed that one. So a lot of opportunities. Continued the ball striking that we've been seeing on Live. So I think Sergio is definitely one of the top overall plays for me on the slate, and gets the pretty early tee time as well. So I'm in on that. Danny Berger shot 1 under today. Pretty just solid all around. I think it's kind of what you'd expect when Berger's on, just kind of all around game. not one category doing all the work. So he's interesting. I think 7,300, you can mix him in for tournaments. You want players with upside, and for Showdown especially, because we're not worried about if we're playing multiple entries. We want the guys that can make 7 birdies, even if they have a chance to have a horrible day and make 7 bogeys. We would rather have the upside there, and have the chance at it than just the person who's going to par almost every hole and grind that out that way. Glover did not play well today, but he had the worst putting in the field, lost 4 strokes on the greens. I could see him bouncing back tomorrow. I don't think I'll end up going there. Cantlay, he was solid except for 15. So I could see him bouncing back. He's 8,500 is pretty cheap for him. And, yeah, I could see him bouncing back for sure. Rates out pretty good in the model. Good ball striking today, and then just really bad around the green. And mainly all that coming on the 2 chips that he chipped in the water on 15, made the 8, or he'd be under par for this tournament right now. So definitely can go to Cantlay. I think he's a secondary look. Matt Fitzpatrick hit the ball pretty well today. Didn't like him coming in, but he's there. Played pretty good. So did Fitzpatrick gained 2 on approach. Ball striking, he was 5th in the field overall in ball striking. So that's really good to see for somebody like Fitzpatrick. Solid record here as well. So I think you could play him at only $7K for sure, and hope he continues that form. Højgaard, Rasmus, solid round today, +1, nothing special. Brooks, he's another guy that I followed every shot that he hit today, and I don't know, he was kind of up and down all day. He started out decent, and he just kind of not fell apart, but just kind of struggled there through the middle of the front 9. Ended up, I think he was 2 over when he made the turn, or maybe even 3 over when he made the turn. He then goes and just starts throwing darts on 10, 11, 2 of the toughest holes on the course, and then grinding for a par at 12, and then birdies the easier par 5, 13th. And that was another really good iron shot that he hit in there right over the flagstick. So he's had stretches like that, and then again he goes back and kind of falls apart down there at the end, and it was some long left misses, which tells me it was pulls. For him on 14, that he made a bogey. Let's see, great up and down on 16, and then he done the same thing 17 there, and then missed a good birdie look on 18 after a strong iron shot. So Brooks +2. I think you can definitely go back to him. I don't know that he's like priority first guy I'm trying to get in, but if I get in that 9K range, I think you can definitely take a shot on him. Henley played horrible today. Not real sure where that came from. +7. Does he bounce back? Maybe, but I don't know that I'm willing to find out. Should be really low owned compared to what he was before. Sung Jae, 7,400. I thought he played pretty solid today. Done it a little bit with his putting. So I think you could go there at only 74. Xander, I think he's okay. Definitely grinded it out. He's starting to hit the ball better. He's going to be back probably Quail Hollow or something like that. I think he's going to be in full swing. So this is kind of the big group right here, right around 10 o'clock, where you've got Xander, some of the guys we've already talked about. You got Vic Hovland, you got Rory. Ludwig, Akshay, Bryson, Decky, Lowry, Rahm, Fleetwood. You got this entire group. So they're going off early enough that they should, if the sustained wind does kick up and this place dries out, they should get most of their round in before it gets to the toughest of the day, in my opinion. And of that group, Rory, man, he played such a good ball striking round, and he just kind of let it fall apart there from 15 on in. He was third in ball striking, second off the tee, 11th on approach. Awful around the green, awful putting day. And, man, I don't know. I think I'll be on him tomorrow. Doesn't have to do a whole lot to get back in contention here. Shoots, in the 60s somewhere tomorrow, and I think he's at least in the discussion come for Saturday. And I think that's what he needs to do. He can definitely do it. Ludwig's ball striking off the charts. I think you can definitely go there. I was a little interested to see what he did coming in, and man, he was prime Ludwig from when he won the Genesis a few weeks back. Bryson, I thought he looked really good. I think he's going to benefit from going out early here in this weather. Gets a little bit more of a damp course, which should help him. Akshay, I think he, came on really strong at the end of his round. I think he's in play under 8K. Lowry turned things around. He wasn't necessarily looking great, but he definitely turned it around. So you can go back to him. Obviously, a really good win player. So we'll kind of see. Rahm got a massive price decrease. I think you could mix him in say, like a 20 max contest tomorrow. Tommy just couldn't putt today. I think he's definitely in play. Good ball striking day for him. Just, again, couldn't make any putts. 8,700, he got a price discount. So a lot of these guys in here are in play. I think I want to pepper these early tee times, so I'm going to pepper this group of the better players in this tee group. The rest of the very early tee time. So then we kind of start to fall back out into some of the guys that I'm not too keen on. So Sepp, good with his irons, but doesn't have the length off the tee. I was off of him this week. He was pretty popular, actually. I think he was 20% in the 33. We'll see what he does tomorrow, but around the green and on the greens, he was abysmal. We'll see if that flips around tomorrow. Burns was good on the greens. It kind of saved him today. Thagala, I think he was a little bit smoke and mirrors today. I don't necessarily like the form he has coming in. Kevin Yu, he played really early this morning, ended up +4, didn't do anything that popped off the page. He was a guy that I was interested to see. None of that group am I really intrigued by until you get down to maybe Cam Young. So Young was great off the tee as usual, decent with his irons, good history here. I think you can mix him in at only 6,700. He's one of those guys that I just talked about. You got upside to make a bunch of birdies, got downside, but we're playing GPPs for the most part, and we're willing to take on some of that risk. Yeah, I can't say no to Brinks. It's impossible. I'm live or die. It just doesn't stop. I'll always find the positives in him, to a fault maybe. Let's see here. Willie Z, I don't know if some of you guys saw that third shot on 13 when he got lucky that the water, he didn't go in Ray's Creek. And then he sculls it over the green and lost ball. So that was fun for people that played him. But really, he struck the ball really well. And it was just that kind of misstep there that hurt him, or he would have been around right at even par. Rates out really well in the model. You've got, he's 8,100 tomorrow, so similar price he was today. Great history here. I think you could go back to him for tournaments. We're getting into the noon tee times, which are going to start to push a little bit. Cam Smith, he's one of those guys. I don't usually like to play the people who are around the green doing every bit of their work. But, man, I mean, Cam Smith, he just does this every single time he plays. Like, it's not – if he can be flat on his ball striking, he's going to shoot a good round. And he did that today, even losing 2.5 with his ball striking. And great history here. He knows how to get around this place and score. So I think you can definitely play Cam tomorrow, especially the fact that, some of these, if you're going to mix in some of the later starters, you want people that know how to get around and can do that. So in that way, I think. So Cam Smith's interesting tomorrow. Rye played really well today. Kind of battled back there towards the end after scuffling a little bit middle of I think it was around Amen Corner. You could go back there. I wasn't too high on him to start the week, but he is super cheap and playing solid all around. Let's see. Some of the rest of these guys that I will highlight in terms of the later starters. Harris English is another one, similar, him and Corey Connors remind me a lot of each other. So I think Harris is a very strong play. I expect him to have a solid rest of the week. He was great on approach today, and, not the longest of hitters, but knows how to get around this place. And nice to see there. Connors, he done a lot around the green and putting today, actually, which is not necessarily normal for him. But, I mean, he was hitting a bunch of fairways and a bunch of greens. So I'm pretty sure, I would have to go back and check, but the shot tracker was kind of messing up on him on number 7 today. And I'm pretty sure he hit it in the bunker in 2, and then he chunked it in, left it in the bunker, and then holed out for par, which probably – helps his around the green stats a lot. But 8,200, he'll be very popular tomorrow. He's a guy that I do wonder a little bit about his upside. But if the course plays hard, I think you can definitely go back to him, because he's going to be one of those players that just grinds this thing out. Patrick Reed, ball striking was there 100%. He was number 7 in the field in ball striking and didn't do great. He was kind of level around the green and lost strokes putting. And I think that'll flip tomorrow. 7,500 is a good price for him. I really like Reed as a play going forward. Let's see here. Neiman, he played solid at times today. Minwoo the same, Morikawa the same. Just kind of grinded some things out. I'm focusing on the early starters, so I'm not going to have a ton of exposure to these later guys. But Jason Day was a guy that I was on for the week, and I was pretty happy with what I saw out of him today. He was pretty much positive everywhere except putting. He lost 0.3 putting, but just a kind of a not a up and down day. He was just solid throughout the day, and thought that was really good to see for him. He is one of the later starters. We're getting into the very end of these tee times. Scotty is one of those. Obviously, he can go low in any condition, pretty much. So if you got the salary, Scotty's always a good play, especially here. when he can separate himself from, I thought it was a good example of what I'm trying to say was number 5 today. Seen a ton of people struggling all day long on number 5. He just hits it in the center of the fairway, hits a long iron right into the green, and it rolled through a little bit, but one of the better shots that rolled down that slope toward the bunker, but it didn't go in to it. But a stress-free par, it's like that's the type of thing you're getting with Scotty. He's a guy that's going to make things, when conditions get difficult, he's going to make things easy. The rest of this group, I think I'm going to fade. Tom Kim hit the ball really well today with his irons. I'm going to be off that tomorrow. McNeely there, you can see he gained tons around the green. Not going to go to that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Maybe you could mix in a Neiman or Morikawa. Not sure I'm in love with either one, but you could go there. But again, I'm going to go heavier on the early tee times. Probably going to go more towards the 5-1 type builds, maybe some 6-0s from the early groups. Going to pepper probably around that late 9 o'clock, early 10s starting times that we talked about in terms of at the top of the board. And then again, at the bottom, Sergio is probably my favorite value. Denny, I think, is a good one. Those two I'll give out on the show as core plays for tomorrow. Will be Sergio and Denny at the bottom. I think both of those are super strong. There's plenty of good value that I think you can get up to the studs that we talked about, like Rory. Maybe play 2 of those guys from 96 that I have highlighted and above. Rory Ludwig or Scotty. I don't know if you could get Scotty Ludwig or something like that, but we'll see. But those 2 would be my core plays from the show, Sergio and Denny. Good luck to everybody tomorrow. I'll be back. I'm going to try to do this for each of the rounds. Hope it helps. If you haven't joined us, be sure to click the link in the description of the video and get a copy of the Masters sheet that's in the chat in our Discord. We will go back and forth discussing, answering any questions throughout the weekend on Showdown. Sweat out the main slate as well. So good luck to everybody the rest of the week, and we'll see you in the Discord and back on the show tomorrow evening.